I'm Helen and welcome to 5 over 50. This week's video is all about self-care. I don't know if you know, but Wednesday was actually self-care day, so I thought the focus this week would be on that. I believe that self-care isn't just about beauty, although of course we will be covering that, so make sure you stick around until the end of the video to see that part. So we will look at the 5 ways to shine, which if you're new here to the channel are joy, strength, simplicity, spirit and beauty. And we're going to see how to incorporate self-care into each of those. So how do we incorporate self-care into joy? Well, I want you to think back to your teens and your 20s and think about what it was that filled you with joy. Is there a hobby that you've forgotten about? Did you used to play netball or basketball? For me, it was dancing. Dancing was where I could forget everything. Time just disappeared and nothing mattered except the great tunes that were playing and letting go. I don't necessarily want to go clubbing now, but I still like to crank up my favourite tunes on a Friday night and dance as if nobody's watching. It relieves stress, it's a great workout, and of course it gets those endorphins going. Strength for me this week has been about getting back into weight training. I seem to have fallen off track a bit. So the best way for me to get back into it is to keep it really short and sweet, and then before you know it, you're actually doing more. So for me, I pick my 5 favourite strength training exercises. Those are deadlifts, which I feel are giving me a nice stretch as well, and it feels like it's not too difficult to get back into. Upright rows, which are a nice easy transition from a deadlift. Chest presses make me feel really strong. And I love Russian twists as well. And then I've been finishing off with a plank. You can either do a plank like I'm showing you where you tap your shoulders if you're a bit more advanced, or you might want to just hold it steady. I'm not a pro, so I would advise you to check with a trainer if you haven't done any exercises like this before, or seek help with an expert and they can advise on appropriate exercises for you, and make sure you have the correct form as well, which is really important. But the key is to pick ones that you enjoy, and that way you won't dread doing them. Physical activity takes care of us, and it's a really good way of reducing anxiety and depression, and it can also help with your learning and thinking. I took the simplicity component into self-care this week by looking at my environment, and my workspace had just become far too cluttered and chaotic, and I don't know about you, but that also then affects my thought process as well. So by transforming it into a more simplistic looking space, I then find that I'm provided with an immense sense of calm. So try looking at an area in your environment and see if by simplifying it, it brings you a sense of calm satisfaction afterwards too. For spirit, I wanted to share some books with you that can help provide peace and clarity every day, and they're books that really are just for dipping into every day rather than reading in one long go. So the first is The Power of Now, which is by Apricot, and I'm just going to read a very small little section for you just to give you a flavour of what it's about. Accept, then act. Whatever the present moment contains, accept it as if you had chosen it. Always work with it, not against it. Make it your friend and ally, not your enemy. This will miraculously transform your whole life. So it's about the importance of living in the present moment and it gives advice on mindfulness, and sometimes it can be a little bit heavy, so it's definitely one for reading in small bites, and you then sort of need time to digest it and let the message sink in. The second book is called Meditations by the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius, and that encourages personal growth. It's a collection of personal writings offering profound insights, and it's quite a reflective read which promotes inner peace and self-discipline. So the third book is one that I'm reading at the moment, and it's called Living Fully. And again, I'm just going to give you a little taster so you can see the kind of thing that's inside. This bit's called Point Your Finger Inward. It's easy to point our finger at others. It's more challenging to point inward at ourselves. It takes courage and resolve. When you point your finger inward and expose your own faults, you are a genuine human being. So the teachings really are to be fully engaged in the moment and encourage you to explore your inner self, and it looks at compassion, gratitude and interconnectedness between all beings. The final one is called The Daily Stoic, and that is daily reflections and inspiration with meditations featuring a Stoic quote with insightful commentary underneath it. And the excerpts come from Stoic philosophers such as Seneca and Marcus Aurelius again. Their wisdom offers profound guidance, and that's one that I'm going to be getting for the new year. So let's look at 5 self-care beauty tips. The first of which is beauty sleep. This is really important for cell renewal and repair. It reduces inflammation, puffiness and dark circles, and lowers cortisol levels. If you're having trouble switching off at night, you can try a hot bath, putting some lavender drops on your pillow, and maybe reading a bit to switch off your mind. The second is water. Now, water is really important because it detoxifies your system. It helps to distribute the nutrients around skin cells and keeps you hydrated. If you find water a bit boring, like I do, then try making it more interesting by putting in some frozen fruit. So here I'm putting in some frozen strawberries instead of ice cubes and adding some basil. You could try adding some cucumber and mint, anything just to add a little bit of interest. The third thing is cuticles. I've been really neglecting my cuticles recently, so I'm trying to be more diligent with adding some cuticle oil. This one is from Essie, and if you keep it somewhere where you'll see it regularly, so perhaps by your bed, so you do it last thing at night, or on your workstation, so you see it whenever you're sitting there next to your laptop. The fourth tip is body brushing. Try to find a body brush with natural bristles and use long sweeping motions towards your heart. This is great because it exfoliates the skin, leading to smoother and softer skin, and promotes cell renewal. It stimulates the blood flow, which can enhance circulation, and it's also believed to stimulate lymphatic drainage and remove toxins from the body. Some say it can even reduce the appearance of cellulite by breaking down the fat deposits underneath the skin. Finally, treat yourself to something at the end of the week or at the end of the month. So for me, on Friday at the end of the week, it was about going and getting a pedicure. Let me know in the comments below what it is that you treat yourself to. I hope that this has helped provide some tips for you and how you can practice self-care every day and improve your health and well-being. And I wish you a great rest of the weekend. Until next weekend, I'll see you then. Bye.